Welcome to another Big Brothers of Destruction podcast episode. It's the Masaku.
And it's your boy Swag Switcher in the building.
And we got some interesting topics here today. We've kind of weighed on it a little bit with bringing up the Sonic ranking system that we keep using for our episodes. Like when it comes to what are we ranking the show or something like that. So we wanted to bring that up to you today. We also wanted to talk about we've also referenced Discus Lariat and what it means to us in our segments as well. So we definitely want to take some time to give you an explanation on what that means. And Swag Switcher has a new take he also wants to add into it as well outside of Discus Lariat. I'm going to let him explain what that is as well in the episode. And then we're finally going to wrap it up with those questions. Swag threw me some haymakers last time. I didn't know how to handle them. In the moment, I made some
very rash decisions.
Yes, very rash decisions. I feel like, off my judgment, they weren't justified. I feel like in the moment, I was pushing to a corner and saying, "Oh, I guess these guys." You know that moment you're trying to please everybody, please the masses. That's what it was for me in that moment. I was like, I'm a little torn here.
You realize these picks aren't for me. These are for the fans. Let me do this for myself real quick.
Exactly. A lot of it was just like, all right, these are not actually my decisions. This is appeasing the fans. And first and foremost,
also,
again, go ahead.
Well, before you continue, before you continue, because it just looks a little funny to me. Your view on the camera is like you're in view, but your microphone is censored.
Dirty words. Dirty words.
It just looks funny because it's like when you go like this, like whenever your body like goes behind it, like it's still censored to a certain degree.
I think it's because I just moved it too.
Yeah, it was just something that caught my eye that was kind of hilarious. But please.
No, you're good. I was just gonna say, guys, if you're enjoying our episodes, if you're enjoying our content, please, if you have not, like and subscribe. We definitely have more content coming away while we're going over again wrestling topics and just things that we enjoy in general as nerds or as blurs to say. So please stay tuned and again like and subscribe on the video. So let's get right into it. Swag Switcher, man. We've been talking about this ranking system for the last couple of episodes, the reviews, and while we are big fans of this game, Sonic Adventures Battle 2, honestly, it to say the least, it was a very big part of our childhood. We spent multiple, if not days, if not months, playing this game, and it's literally a part of our lives to the point where we're using this ranking system on a regular basis.
Sonic Adventures Battle 2, for especially like for you and I, and even more so just for myself, because I've always been a big Sonic fan. Sonic is like he's my guy. All right, bit Sonic fan through and through, and through the good times and the bad. And boy, oh boy, there's been some bads. But listen, like the street profits say, for Sonic, the profits are up. So as you know, but the amount of influence that Sonic Adventures 2 has had on our lives, I could almost say that Sonic Adventures 2 has to a certain degree has guided us to the point that we are at right now, as far as with what we do, the way we think, and just kind of sort of like the way our lives has turned out. Because going all the way back to it, back when me and him were both rapping and we had the group Mild Fleet kind of thing. The only reason why Mild Fleet, and shout out to Maharishi, the only reason he's not dead, he's alive.
I was getting ready to say that, bro. It's crazy.
He's very much alive. He's good. He's good. But but the reason why that we even got to the point where mild became a thing was literally because we wanted to rap on a instrumental version of Meteor Herd, which is a Knuckles level in the game.
I
And
thought it was originally when we heard the Fly in the Freedom one. I thought it was that one.
no, that came after.
Okay,
So
okay.
we was looking for Meteor Herd. We was trying to find an instrumental, and we're scouring the internet for an instrumental version of Meteor Herd, and it didn't exist, which was crazy because for other Knuckles' levels, there were instrumentals that were out there, but not for Meteor Herd. And then I stumbled upon somebody who had made their own instrumental. Like it was an instrumental for Meteor Herd, but it was more, but they kind of made it like their own way and they kind of flipped it type deal. And that person was Maharishi. And I was like, yo, I think I finally found one. You think this dude would let us rap on it? And he was all like, send me his information and I'll hit him up. I sent him the information. He hit him up, and the next thing I know, he was all like, "Hey, yo, think he'd be cool with joining a like kind of like making a group with us with us." And I was like, "Sure, why not?" And
No,
then
he was more like, yeah, sure, that's cool. Like you got to remember Maharishi was he didn't really have a lot of charisma. It was like, yeah, sure, we can do that. That's cool. Can you guys rap? like
yeah, literally him. Literally was like, "Yeah, okay, well." And
okay, cool.
so, fam, you're actually nailing that right now.
Shout out to my
And
friend
so,
Shadow. Oh!
Shadow Fox, good gosh. But yeah, so and it was from that a three-way conversation happened on the phone, and we figured out the name Mild from kind of like it actually started as like a combination of our rap names kind of thing, and then Mild eventually became Music Intellectually Lives Down, and the rest was history. And it was all based off of Sonic Adventures 2. And there had
Literally.
been several Sonic Adventures 2 battle tracks that we've flipped and rapped on and all this other stuff. So fast forward into now, this ranking system that we're coming up with, which we have now discovered we were jumping the gun a little bit on the ranking system because the original ranking system only goes from E to A.
Then
However,
what about the S's then?
so I actually don't know where we got the S's
I could have
from.
sworn there was S's in there. You,
No.
you know what? You're right now. Yeah. Okay. So then, yeah, it is only A because yeah, A was that was cool. I could have sworn it was S.
Listen, I was thinking as well, but it was like I double checked and I looked it up and I'm like, wait a second. Wait a second. So the S rank is like I actually I don't think in any of them, like at least the from the E to A kind of ranking system, because there's been different ones throughout the games, for the different games that have come out. So it's like I think S's came out at a later time. But the other thing is, most of the times when they have the rankings, they either only have it's either four ranks or five. So it's like it's either like the ones that I've seen that go to S, they drop off E, and then it just goes from D, C, B, A, and
You
stuff
know
like
what?
that.
That makes sense because a lot of games do stuff like that. Is they'll have like S as super, but
Mhm.
all reality, their ranking system is from like a very bad grade to an A or an S. And I don't know where my brain was that it made it think that S was a ranking. So anyway, so I guess any of those rankings that we gave before that were A's technically were B's, and any ranking that we gave a B was now a C.
Correct. And there was a part of me that when we was given those rankings, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, this is feeling a bit high. And I know myself, I always say I'm very Paula Abdul when it comes to ranking and judging things, especially when it comes to people around me. And I see you giving me the little that crazy look, so I'll explain. This is going all the way off of original American Idol. We have Randy Jackson, who's the cool, like, he'll give you a, yeah, that was good, or I'll be real with you, that wasn't good. And then we have Simon Cowell, who is the hard ass when it comes to ranking. And unless it was really, really good, he's not going to say it was good. He only says things that are good if it completely was a blow him out of the water type deal. Paula Abdul, you could sound like ass and she'll be all like, "Oh, baby, bless your heart. You know, you really did try." You know what I'm saying? But she's someone who almost rarely ever says, "You know what? That was actually just not good." That's never been her thing. She will find something good to say about it. And that's kind of sort of how I am when it comes to ranking and judging a lot of things, or at least within my friend clique, because a lot of my friends, they're very, very strongly opinionated, and they'll be all like, "We'll go see a movie," and I'll wait for everyone else because everyone will be all like, "Yeah, that movie was mid." In my mind, I'm like, "Mid? That shit was great." I don't. And then I'll hear them start talking about, I was like, the things that they're like nitpicking about the movie, and I'm all like, I, I actually kind of like that part. I don't.
I'm sorry, you might not watch that Resident Evil movie. That was like the blend of Resident Evil 1 and 2. Boy, I was in that theater roasting that shit. Roasting it. And my wife is sitting here like, babe. I'm like, no, this is not what it. This is not. And people in the audience are like, yeah, that's not. I'm like, yeah, what is this? So,
See,
um,
see, then the prime example. I mean, granted,
mm,
there has been very few movies that I've gone to see, and I can say that I've legitimately gave it a negative rank. The first one that
mm.
came to my mind was the X-Men Apocalypse movie. That
I
movie was
never
bad.
watched that. I never
No,
watched it because I kept hearing it was bad. But the homie that was Ivan Ooze was in it, so I was like, maybe.
no, it was ass, absolute ass. Like
But Psylocke though,
she was fine as hell, but bad in the. Well, I don't want to say she herself was bad in the movie. It's just the movie was bad. It just wasn't
okay,
good to me. It
okay,
was
it wasn't
like,
justifiable.
if you are someone who, like, even myself, though I'm not a person who necessarily reads the comic books like that, there are certain things that I know, and I'm like, yeah, no, you don't change that from the comic book. You know what I'm saying? Like, the way that they presented Apocalypse, like, was bad. Like, it didn't line up. And then there was
It was
like,
Poodoo
yeah, and it was like, what? There was like this weird, and I'm not even going to say spoilers if you haven't seen
skill
it,
though.
but there was like this thing, because you know how like Apocalypse, he has like where he kind of morphs himself, and he can grow big and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
that happens in a dream in the movie. Like, it doesn't actually happen. Like, yeah, 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 yeah. There was just certain things and certain portrayals that they did for Apocalypse that was just like booty. And because of how booty that was, I didn't watch the next movie that came out, which was like the whole Phoenix situation. I do kind of want to see it just so I can know what happened, and just because that one I heard was an absolute, what's the word, I'm dumpster fire. That's the word I'm looking for. That's the phrase. But so yeah, those movies, going back to what we were just talking about, full on E. Barely made
okay. So,
it.
in the perspective of ranking, basically E is complete poodoo. It is ass. Is the worst of the worst. All right, it's the worst thing you can experience. Right. A D is like that 1 star ranking review that you give a location. It's like, yo, the thing was ass, but there was a employee that was so sweet. They made the experience, even though I got ass service, but they were just so sweet. And I feel like they're just doing their best. But Still poodoo. Okay, still poodoo. C, you barely made it. You
Well, see, well, first off, this phrase "poodoo," where did that come from?
basically is not saying dookie without saying dookie. So poodoo. I just made it up.
Poodoo,
Yep.
poodoo.
Yep.
Oh, this is an original poodoo.
Yeah.
Got it,
Yep. Yep.
got it. Okay, poodoo it is. But well, so to C ranking ain't that bad. C is like C is mid.
Yeah, you barely made it.
Dang. Whew. All
Nah,
right.
nah,
Well,
it's mid. Nah, it's
I
mid.
mean,
It's mid. It's mid. I'm just being me.
I say, geez, I see where you come from. Very hard judge over here.
I'm
I
Simon. Hell yeah.
don't think you're quite a Simon Cowell. You're closer to a Randy Jackson.
No,
And,
dog, that ain't
and
for me. No, dog.
what? No, dog, that ain't for me. But yeah, like C is mid. C is like it was bad, but there was enough good to make it tolerable, which is definitely what AEW is or has been. But listen, don't get me
The hate
started.
does not stop. The hate does
This
not stop. Look, man,
listen,
we got some great people there. We just got some shit storytelling. All right, this is it. That's it.
yeah. C rank right there. All right. And now
What you?
I will
What are you giving
also
WWE? Were you gonna get A? You giving it an A?
no. So hear me out here, okay? And because I thought about this while watching SmackDown the other night, and and I mentioned it in the SmackDown review a little bit, but it's like though I can't seem to help do it. WWE versus AEW right now, it's unfair to compare the two because WWE is in WrestleMania season right now.
Yes, yes,
So it's
yes,
like they are firing on all cylinders.
yes.
They are, as Sheamus would say, banger after banger after banger after banger after banger. While AEW, they're like they're like early mid season. Like
Burger
because
after burger.
yikes.
No, because you brought up the Sheamus thing, and it was burger after burger.
Burger after burger. But realistically speaking, yes, because AEW because they have a pay-per-view coming up, what is it, next weekend?
All in. Yeah.
All in next weekend. Which I have to what do they consider like their WrestleMania? Their WrestleMania
It's
is when they go
supposed. I could
over
have sworn it was either all out or all in. I could have sworn.
because because hmm because well, I was about to say, isn't it Wembley? Like when they go to the Wembley Stadium?
So they're not doing Wembley. I think that's why they're doing it in Texas. Because that's what I think all in is supposed to be it, or it's either all out. I can't remember.
God, we'll have to check or
Mm-hmm.
see if they're because because every wrestling pay per view, every company has like their WrestleMania. So
Let me
like,
look it up. AEW's WrestleMania. Let me
as
pull it up.
TNA's equivalent of WrestleMania was is it? I think it's Bound for Glory. Is like
Uh, the biggest
Bound for Glory
question
is
out of the four pay per views, anyway, the biggest matches, Double or Nothing, All Out, Full Gear Revolution. I want to say it's Double or Nothing, but let me see. Double or Nothing is the equivalent of All Elite's big event. So Double or Nothing is their WrestleMania, I guess.
okay. So double, and when is Double or Nothing?
Double or Nothing. Let's see when was the last one. May. May was
So
2000. Let me see. Hold on. Double or Nothing.
oh, if it's
AW.
If it's
Hold
May,
on.
that means that's actually
Yeah,
coming up
May.
soon.
Yeah, May.
Oh, so that means okay. Ooh, so this will be a nice thing to actually compare. Then I can really talk my shit if it's necessary. Because so where WWE has WrestleMania, TNA their big pay-per-view, their WrestleMania is Bound for Glory. And where AEW their big one is what was it you said again? Fucking
Double or Nothing.
is theirs is Double or Nothing. And
And then
so
New
it's like
Japan, Wrestle Kingdom.
so there you have that. And it's like so when it comes to the lead up right now, WWE's they're firing on all cylinders right now. And so it's like they're doing crazy wild stuff every night. There is something to keep you locked in, hanging on and whatnot. And currently AEW, if theirs is in May, it's we're about to go into April right now. Or at least when this airs, it will wait, hold on. I forget. How many days are this month?
Tomorrow's the
So it'll
31st.
almost be April. But but so I guess now that I've made this distinction, I'm gonna have to pay attention. I'm gonna really be paying attention to AEW right now because AEW ramping it up because April, May, if May is when their big pay per view is, they should be they're for all intents and actually I shouldn't even say that they are on the road to their personal WrestleMania right now, technically, because comparably speaking, you know, the road to WrestleMania for WWE starts in January, which is with the Royal Rumble, and so the last pay per view AEW just had that should have been their Royal Rumble. Like oh snap, we're about to go in.
Actually, I would say it's this one because the Owen Hart Classic is the equivalent of that because as the Royal Rumble is the match that gets you the main event at Mania, the Owen Hart Classic is the one that gets you the guarantee main event.
Okay, all right.
So
So
I would say
they
it's technically this one.
then they just have their road's just a little smaller in comparison because from the Royal Rumble there was like what was it Backlash that's in between.
Backlash happens after Mania, so it's only Elimination Chamber.
Okay, it was
Yeah,
Elimination
they
Chamber.
got
So
rid of Roadblock. Roadblock is now an NXT pay per view.
that's right. So we had the Elimination Chamber, which was kind of like that in between buffer between WrestleMania, and now we have this long ass road to the actual show. As where for them, they're going to have this next pay per view that airs next weekend, if I'm right, and then after that pay per view, because that pay per view happens in April. They have from April to May to get me completely locked in for their WrestleMania of sorts, kind of thing. And so it's
Double or
like
nothing.
I need them. And it's like, and they're gonna have a shorter amount of time to prepare like what WWE does for their WrestleMania being Double or Nothing. And so it's like I'm going to be interested to see how they keep me locked in like how WWE did. They're not. I understand that, so I'm not going to
So you
boost
telling me?
myself
So
up.
you telling me? So you telling me? So you telling me? If they the situation that they're pulling right now, if Hangman Adam Page wins Owen Hart Classic and Swerve wins the title, that means we're automatically getting a Double or Nothing the rematch again. You telling me that's not going to get you invested?
Yes, that will, but that's one thing.
Okay,
That's one thing.
okay, okay. Outside of pull away. Okay, hold on. Okay, so you got Cena and okay, you got Cena and Cody. You got Roman, CM Punk, and Seth.
Uh-huh.
I know you're gunning for the Charlotte match. I know that.
I won't even
Uh,
count that one.
I was about to say that's a little biased. Um, I know you're looking for the Naomi and Jade Cargill one. That one we could all say that one.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of want to believe that you were looking forward to the Jacob Fatu and and Braun Strowman? I feel like you're gonna look forward to that.
I mean, yes, but I won't even count that one either, especially since that one's not even official yet. We
Yeah.
we off camera we speculated that that's probably definitely going to happen,
There's
but
no
I won't
fucking
even
way
count
that's
that one.
not. There's no fucking way it's not. That's a at least the starter of Mania. That's a starter of Mania. That's the first
Oh
match.
yeah, that could be, yeah.
Um, yeah. So okay, out of those three, those are the biggest ones that are like, okay, you gotta see what the fuck happens. And then yes, for AEW, they have Swerve and Hangman Adam Page.
They got that. They got one right now, and that's believing that that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's believing. Yeah. I don't know.
And so it's like, and then and then there's the whole fact of like, because yes, those we could say that those three potentially to a certain degree you could say five and all, but I chose not to count those. But those right now, those are like the big three that I'm just like, ooh yeah, I'm trying to see how this ends up turning out. Which was, if I remember, we did the Bianca's match, how that's gonna go, the Cody
Oh, not to
situation
be
with Cena.
not no the Naomi and Jade Cargill ones. What I said.
Oh, okay. So Naomi and Jade, I would add the Bianca one because that whole situation is great. And then we have Cena situation that's going on, and then the big three, but Roman Reigns considers himself the big me and stuff. So it's like, and the thing is, that one wasn't really on my list until SmackDown. SmackDown made me kind of start caring about it just a little bit more. And so, but we're going to see where that goes. And so that is four matches out of that. Those are and those are the four I'm going to count for right now. And those are four matches, four big, got me locked in because of the things that have been happening on the show, matches that I'm like, all right, let's do it. Right now, AEW potentially has one going into their WrestleMania season of sorts. So it's like, and they only have, did they give a date on when that's going to be?
Double or Nothing,
Yeah.
May 25th.
So May 25th. So looking at my little calendar here, if the next pay-per-view is, I think, on the 6th, if I'm not mistaken, their pay-per-views are usually on Sunday. And that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they got like, after that pay-per-view, they got about 7 weeks ish, 6 to 7 weeks to put some things together to get that pay-per-view feeling like it's WrestleMania quality and worth the money or time to want to purchase type thing. And so, which is a lot of time. They have a lot of time. I believe they can do it between their 2.5 shows. And I say and a half because of Ring of Honor. Because
Oh, actually, you know what? I thought about it. Anything involving Tony Storm, I don't give a flying fuck what she does. Anything involving Tony Storm, I'm there for it.
fair.
Yes, bitch. I ain't gonna lie. Tony Storm is the main reason why I'm watching AEW right now. Like, that's the main freaking thing I'm watching for.
Fam, AEW believes that and they understand it too. That's why Tony Storm things have been at the end. Think about that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
the woman's champion is more important than
The heavyweight
everything else.
championship.
I wasn't gonna single him out like that. I was just gonna say everything else you
You
said.
don't like John Moxley, so yeah, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it.
However, to their credit, they have at least, out of everything that's been going on, for this next pay-per-view that they got coming up, they have at least got me interested in wanting to see that match between Moxley and Swerve.
Because it's hopefully going to be a death match. I hope.
Because leading up to it, I haven't cared about anything with the heavyweight title. And I think AEW realizes no one cares about anything with the Death Riders and whatever belts that they have. You proved it the other night that no one cares. This is why I said Pop need to come back home to WWE. At least we'll
Yeah.
at least we'll recognize the fact that he's a champion and doing something in WWE probably.
Mm,
As opposed to
potentially.
him just as opposed to listen, maybe they'll bring back the triangle.
Look, if they, like I said, if they bring back Death Triangle, it's over for AEW for me. It's over. I'm done. You give me Death Triangle, I'm done. I will no longer probably be singing the praises of AEW because it's like, nah, you got my trio back. I'm done. But they're never gonna do trios in WWE, so that's why.
No, and they don't need to. I
Mm,
mean, like
no.
WWE has enough belts. WWE has enough belts, and I think right now, to a certain degree, they've been giving the belts that they have. They've been giving the belts that they have a decent enough shine throughout everything. And that's even with the fact because there's with the two tag team champions, two intercontinentals, and then the women's have their intercontinentals and stuff like that. But their tag team titles are still just there's only one tag team
Yeah, I
amongst
was
them.
about to say there's only one tag team title now. I thought.
Yes, there's still only one tag team title.
Yeah, 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 yeah. They unified them. Yeah, yeah.
It's funny because it's like one of those deals because there's title they actually mirror the except for tag team they mirror the men's titles, but there's only one tag team as opposed to
Wait,
a
no, the
tag
War Raiders. What are we
team.
talking about? The War Raiders are tag team champions.
That's what I'm saying. I was saying the fact that the women's titles they mirror the men's belts until you get to the tag team titles. Because where the men still have two belts, two different tag team belts, the women only have one, which is fine because they don't need more. Like there's not enough women on the main roster to do something like that. Now, one could argue and say that you could put a permanent women's tag team title in the NXT roster because there's a lot of girls down there as well. But the women's tag team belts travel around kind of thing. Which me personally, I feel that the women's tag team titles, someone in NXT should get them so that they can be more spotlighted, kind of thing. I mean, they're doing a decent job right now because the women's tag team titles are currently with Judgment Day. So it's like
It's because
we're
it's on
seeing
Liv
them.
Morgan. That's it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
they're being spotlighted. You're seeing them every night. You're noticing them, and there is people trying to get to a point where they can get to those belts.
No, he's
So
just
it's
trying to get
like,
to Liv Morgan. That's it.
wow, that's what we're doing, huh?
Who's not trying to get on Liv? Who's not? Who's not? Who's not?
Fam. That is all right. You're boosting. I'll boost Liv Morgan too, but I ain't
Okay.
I ain't
Okay.
saying she all that. Like she
Okay.
like
Okay. 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 So who is you saying it's all that then?
who is all that like right now as far as the
Yeah.
women goes?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Bianca Belair. Who else?
I mean, you do got a point. I am more of a Jade Cargill though. I do. I am more of a Jade Cargill because
So with Jade, because I would also say her too, but it's one of those things where she is, to me, she's in a still working to get to a certain spot type
I'm
thing.
not talking. I'm not talking about wrestling. I'm talking about appeal.
Oh, if you're
Yeah, we're
going
talking.
on pure,
I'm talking about appeal. That's why I was making the Liv Morgan comment because of the appeal, not
oh,
from the.
oh,
Yeah,
if we're talking about appeal, then then I have to retract Bianca and I have to throw out Rhea Ripley.
you do have. See. Hold up. You know what? I'm not gonna say it on camera. I know why. Cause Muscle Mommy, that be tickling some motherfuckers fancies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
Plus, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like getting my Liv Morgan on TV every single night, but I also prefer getting me some Rhea Ripley on TV every single night. And as far as the appeal goes, like it's one of those things where it's like I wish Rhea Ripley was in a better light right now, but as we all know, that triple threat is about to be a thing with that whole title situation, so everything is going to be made right in this universe, kind of thing. Now, the only thing when it comes to Liv Morgan is the fact that, which is the reason why I said her having the tag team titles kind of sort of helps the tag team titles, be worthy, is the fact that not only is she on TV every night type deal, but it's like she herself is doing big things and winning her matches and is incorporated with a big angle. Whether or not it's like it's showing their importance, which is something that AEW has a hard time doing sometimes.
Because they have timeless.
Too
Anyway,
much.
so getting back to the original topic, the ranking system. So E, complete ass. D, ass, but polished ass. um, C, mid. B, it's just fine. Just
He's
fine.
good.
Yeah,
He's
B's
good.
just fine. A, the best of the best of the best. As Men in Black reference right
The best of the best of
there. So
the
the
best.
best.
However, I think allowing there to be a S rank would make things even more special because S is perfection,
Yes.
not something that should be passed around often and whatnot, but damn near might as well call it perfect.
Do you have a pay-per-view in mind or a match in mind that you would consider as an S rank?
Damn.
Just to get no, since you like throwing questions at me like that, just to put you on the spot, can you give me an S rank pay-per-view, if not S rank match? So that way the
Uh,
audience has an idea of what a rank is that S rank is.
a S rank pay per view. That one's very tough. Especially, I don't really think there's been an S rank pay per view as of recent.
It can be
Um,
of all time. It doesn't have to be recent, of all time.
so of all time, I have to really deep dive. I'm trying to just think like as of like the most recent or like with everything that's gone on as far as like matches and stuff like that. So I would say as far as a S rank match would go, interestingly enough, the first one that came to my mind was WrestleMania, Bianca versus Sasha Banks. Now, I
Of
would
all time?
that not of no, that's just an of
Okay,
all
just
time.
the first thing. Just the first thing that came to mind. Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah, first thing that came to mind is would definitely be that as far as like what I would expect out of an S rank match. You know
Okay,
what
yeah,
I'm
that
saying?
that was definitely a good damn match.
You know, yeah, that definitely an S rank match. Uh, now of all time, and at this point, we're talking like my personal S rank match, like a match.
The match you will watch. No, matter of fact, this could be even the match you would showcase to somebody saying, "This is my favorite match," because that's an
Yeah,
S rank to you.
I don't think I've ever considered a favorite match either. Of all time, I gotta. Oh, that's tough.
Now you see how I felt. Now you see how I felt.
Especially consider the fact because like I've actually recently thought of like, do I have a favorite match of all time? And I think the for the time being, the answer has kind of come up to I can't think of a favorite match of all time. There's not a whole lot of there's not often a whole lot of matches that I know I go back to and watch in the sense of like, man, I love seeing this bout type situation,
I have a couple.
which almost does not surprise me considering how I know you consume your wrestling and stuff like that. So like, but for me, I'm trying to come up trying to find the first one that comes to mind so I'm not spinning wheels and burning air here cuz it's cuz that's a
Would you
rough
like me to give
also
you mine so that way it can give you a opportunity of seeing what that is?
sure
Okay.
go ahead.
Because I can
Spit your
immediately tell you, I can give you 3 of my S rank matches.
okay.
And 2 of them on the same fucking pay per view. And this is one of the reasons why this pay per view would be the S rank for me. First one, Cactus Jack versus Triple H Royal Rumble 2000. That match, the storytelling, the build up from Mick Foley, Mankind going to Cactus Jack, that story alone, it was just like, man, because I know who Cactus Jack is. I've seen the stuff he's done in Japan. I've seen the stuff he's done in ECW, and even seen his first match against Triple H. So we all know they have history. And when he flips, there's no telling what's going to happen. So that build up alone, the video packages from the 2000s were just, they did not miss. They just did not miss. So the match itself, the level of brutality, the level of storytelling, and also that match is what made Triple H the game. That is what made him the game. Because the boys in the back, they even said before, they didn't really see him as that guy. You know, he had the chip on his shoulder. But when he went to that level of brutality, it was like, all right, he's the guy. And 2, when he comes out to the ring and he has that belt around that waist, that's my goddamn champion, bro. He that is the freshest Triple H ever looked with that goddamn belt. I'm sorry. I want you to watch it again. And when he comes out, he in the and it's just everything about that was like video game quality Triple H. And Cactus Jack did not disappoint. So that is my first S rank. Second S rank is the Dudley Boys versus the Hardy Boys table match. It's the first table match, and you get the best spot of the night. Jeff Hardy doing a swanton off the car to Devon Dudley. That is the most crisp fucking swanton ever. That shit's perfection. So those are 2 of my, like, if I want to watch or showcase somebody a match, I'm pulling these 2.
Which those are good choices. I would probably, and actually, you saying that makes me like brings up one that does come to mind as a. I don't know if this would be like my S rank, like my end all be all one, but a good a good one to say would be when it was the first TLC match between Edge and Christian, the Hardy Boys, and the Dudleys.
Yes.
And and was a very that one was a very special match, and one that like I know for me because I remember watching it on on that pay per view, and it was like, oh, this is peak. But it's like that, and it's one of those things because of all the stuff that led up to it. Also, is what led it to being the S rank match that it was,
Mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And so it's like when it comes to, I think for me, I want to say that probably one of my, and it's funny because it's like like people will probably hear this and be like, "Wow, Swag, you basic as hell." But at the same time, to a certain degree, I kind of am, because like probably my and this is me currently talking from the memory, and the first things that really pop up, my big one would be probably the Mankind and Undertaker Hell in a
I was
Cell.
gonna say it. I was gonna say it as the third one, but I said let me chill. Let me chill.
Like that might be my S rank match of all time,
Yeah.
probably.
And it's
Because
funny,
like
Dark Side of the Ring just did an episode on it too, so you gotta watch it.
I didn't. Oh, Dark Side of Ring's like back doing
Yeah.
episodes. Oh
Yeah.
man, I could
And that was on
watch.
the Hell in a Cell.
Okay, I'll watch that. Although there's not much about that match I don't know anymore, but I'm now curious to see what they got to put into it, kind of deal. But it's like I would probably say that is probably mine. That's probably my S rank match of all time, kind of thing. And because it had quite the influence on me when I was a kid, because I remember watching that in the family room with my mom and my brother. I remember watching that match and just remembering how wild and crazy it was, kind of thing. And so, and I remember that pay-per-view in itself was wild and crazy, with all the stuff that just kept going on and kept happening, and
The
all the,
first blood match too.
yes, with Kane, and then Kane becoming the heavyweight champion for the first time, and then losing it 24 hours later. Still better than Finn Balor though. But
Penn Balor. You keep getting his name wrong.
listen, I will not. I'm not going to do that, Finn, because what I said was already a bit mean and rude. So now, when it comes to the pay per view, the S rank pay per view of all time, that one might be that one's harder for me to try and think of and figure out.
I'm not gonna
'Cause,
lie, that one is kind of tough. That one's kind of tough. Cause I got a couple contenders, and I'm like, I even sat here was like,
like I have to really sit down and like contemplate, look up some pay per views, and remember the stuff that happened. And so it's like, because I could almost easily say it would might have been a pay per view that I went to, but it's like I went because, but then that's like
that's kind of
actually,
biased.
well, I mean,
Well,
to
no,
a
not really,
certain
not really,
degree,
not
it
really.
is like I would say that right now when it comes to like I feel as if like to probably make it a more clear cut choice, I'd have to make it a category. So
Mm.
like of the Backlash pay-per-views, what would be your S rank for
You know, I actually was thinking about that, like your favorite Royal Rumble or something like that. Like,
it? Yeah.
yeah.
Which, see, when you say that, I instantly remember which one that is. And it was one of the, I think it's the last one that Stone Cold Steve Austin won, because that particular one, Kane showed the fuck out and he
Oh,
eliminated the most
2001,
people
yeah.
ever. Fam. And then Stone Cold comes there and eliminates Kane. I was so upset. I was so mad, bro. Because this is peak me
Tank
locked in
Top Kane.
wrestling.
Tank Top Kane.
Peak peak Kane right now. Kane was in that Royal Rumble. I think he came in as it was number 7 or number 8. I'm pretty certain it was number 7. He came in number 7, and he's cleaning house. And the thing that I think that's the part that really got me, cuz like they really like Kane looked amazing in that game, in that match. He was just getting it in, just back and forth, throwing, and it came down to the very last person as Stone Cold. And I think the last person was Stone Cold. Wasn't he like number 30?
He was kind of in that area, but he won because he had that steel chair. He got him out.
Yeah, oh man, I was so mad. I was hot. I was hot. I was hot. But
Um,
that
I
pro
guess
that
I'm.
but that probably would be my S rank Royal Rumble as far as that goes. Cause going because before you brought that up, I probably was going to bring up the WrestleMania. Ooh, I see. I always get my numbers mixed up, but it was the WrestleMania, the last WrestleMania they had in Orlando, which had
Was that the one where Roman Reigns went against Undertaker?
yes,
Okay.
I would say even with the Brock Lesnar and Goldberg match, that WrestleMania was an S rank WrestleMania to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because like I said, outside of outside of that one match between Brock Lesnar and Goldberg, because nobody cared. As a matter of
Nobody.
fact, I remember specifically I used that to take a pee break.
Damn.
And I was also gonna get snacks, but like when I went to try and get snacks, they're all like the snack bar's closed. I'm like, son of a bitch. All right, fine. So I actually missed the whole match.
I
I never saw that match. I just heard the aftermath. But like everything about that particular one was dope. The Hardy Boys showing up.
Yeah, that was
I
crazy, bro.
listen.
Actually, I
It
think
was
was I working that one? I can't remember if I was working that one or the one before. It was the one with the globe. Yeah, so it wasn't that one. It was the one
the
before that. Okay,
yeah, the one with the globe that was
that was the one
in
I
the
worked.
roller coaster and everything. Yeah, that
Yeah, that was the
WrestleMania
one I
was
worked.
yeah. But like but I think but to get that point across, like those are like S rank materials, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm,
saying?
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like um like I would
I'm gonna have to go back and look at my favorite pay per views now because that's a tough one.
to me, I want to say the last match that the match that Hangman and Swerve had with
The death match one.
yes, that death
That
match that
that
they
is an S
did
rank. Yes.
where they literally stabbed each other and freaking he like paper not that's not even paper clip
Staple gun.
staple Gundam and all this other stuff
Mm-hmm.
like the ride that they took you on even if it's one of those things like I know a lot of people didn't like it because they're all like ew death match but it's all like but in the long run with the story that led up to it and then the how like the fact that like they was going at each other like they literally wanted each other dead like that good story all the way through even leading up until now which is something that like I don't think AEW is using it as a crutch however getting close I'm gonna need them to you know do the thing but yeah I think that
Um, I think that one's for you. Think that one's your S rank match
at
as
least for
well?
8.
Okay. I'm gonna definitely say
I was
that's
trying to
also
be
for
fair.
AEW. No, that one's also a S rank for me in AEW. I was thinking of my favorite pay per view of all time. It's between ECW Heat Wave 98 or 99. The reason why I say
Mm,
98 is because that's where the RVD Frog Splash that I freaking love. The one out of nowhere. It's on that pay per view.
okay.
And there's a couple of every match to me on that pay per view is a banger. Even the opening ones with the cruiserweights and everything, or light heavyweight division, and then you also have Taz versus Bam Bam Bigelow, where they went through the freak. I think this is the one where they went through the ring or they went through the stage. I can't remember which one. Regardless, crazy. And then anything that had the damn Dudley Boys and combines New Jack in it S rank pay per view. And New Jack obviously is my guy, and you tell him he's coming in there and he's hit people in the head with gear. I'm cool with it. So I want to say it's either 98 or 99. Can't remember which one exactly, but Heat Wave was always just a banger.
Mm, got it.
And you'd have
I
Peacock so
think
you can watch it.
I might take a look at it.
I got to take a look
Oh,
at yours when you brought up the Not the match. It was the pay-per-view. I think it was not pay-per-view. It was what was you brought up one of the S ring matches you used. It was the Hell in a Cell one, and then the
Mm-hmm.
other one was and they said Bianca Belair and Sasha.
Yeah, Bianca Belair and Sasha.
Then there was one more.
And then well then I did say the one with Swerve.
TLC. That's what it was. The TLC one.
Oh, and the
I
TL
feel
and the TLC.
I feel like TLC 2 is better because I think that's when we got the spear. I think that's when we got the spear on because that was at
I think
Mania.
that I believe that was where the spear happened at
Yeah,
TLC two
yeah.
at
So I'm gonna
the
have to
second
watch them
time that
again.
they met each other.
Yeah, I gotta watch them again.
But but yeah, those were mine.
Okay.
And maybe, but I know for me, if I'm gonna change it, I'm gonna have to do some research
That's what I'm doing after this. I'm gonna have to do some research. Doing
because
research.
it's one of those things I have literally consumed practically my full lifetime's worth of wrestling, and that's spanning across three different
Generations
brands.
almost. Almost
Oh
two
yeah,
generations too, yeah.
2 to 3 generations, 3 different wrestling brands. Because I never watched WCW, but it's like the brands I've consumed have been TNA, and then of course WWE, and now AEW. So those are like the brands that I'm most familiar with.
Yeah, you never really
It's
watched ECW unless I showed it to you.
because I never had the channel that ECW would come on.
Oh
And then
nah, yeah.
ECW was like unless you was in the know and just was able to find it for free on the internet, which I was very lacking on that piece. It's like unless you're actually buying the show, and my grandmother wasn't trying to rent pay-per-views all the time. So it was like I never could really watch my ECW.
Mm-hmm. Um I forgot two other ones, and this is why I keep stressing that you need to watch Lucha Underground. Two of my other S rank matches. And this is the one that made Pentagon Jr. who he is today. Pentagon Jr. versus Vampiro in a Zero Mero match. S rank. No, storytelling S rank. The second one, and this is why I knew Swerve Strickland was a sick fuck. So whenever the match with him and Hangman Page, I was like, all this stuff he's doing, I'm like, oh no, he's sick. Oh, I know this because of his match with Dante Fox, the guy that you got introduced last week on Dynamite. He
Yeah.
went against Killshot in a Hell of War match, 3 stages of hell. In that match, S rank.
Okay, okay. Okay.
So
Which, by the way, whoever watches, bring back 3 stages of hell. Bring that back. That's a match. That is a match type that has almost been lost in time.
yes, it literally is though. It is.
Like a 3 stages of hell, and the thing that reminded me of it was randomly YouTube. Like I'm just scrolling through, and all of a sudden, like YouTube's all like the full match, 3 stages of hell between Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H, and I'm
Yeah, I
like,
saw that too. I saw that
I'm
too.
like, and I was like, wait a second, 3 stages of hell. Man, I forgot about that match type. Put that back in the game. Put it
Mm-hmm.
back. I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all almost made me forget about it. They don't talk about it no more. Nah, 3 stages
Mm-mm.
of hell. Start out first start out as like a regular match, then goes to a match with a crazy stipulation, and then ending with like a freaking
A
career ending.
crazier. Yeah.
Like, man, Brent, give me that shit again.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the game, like because
Mm-hmm.
it don't exist no more. It don't.
No. I think the last one was on like a SmackDown game. It was like SmackDown 2 or 3. Or SmackDown
No.
2 or Here Comes the Pain, excuse me.
Actually, I think you might be right. I don't know if 3 Stages of Hell matches made it into the SmackDown versus Raw games. That
Never
I don't
did.
think
Never did. I definitely
so.
remember it never did.
So it's probably the last one might have been Here Comes the Pain.
Let me see. When was the last 3 stages of hell? Stages of hell match. Um, the last one. Oh, they did a Halloween Havoc. Last year they did a Halloween Havoc. That's crazy.
Oh, who was it?
I'm probably gonna get these names wrong. Is Ridge Holland and Andre Chase?
Andre Chase, Ridge Holland. That was a Three Stages of Hell.
Apparently, they
What
said
was
the most recent 3 stages of hell match in WWE was between those two at Halloween Havoc 2024.
mm. And
And
I
you know
remember
Shawn Michaels
watching.
did that. You know Shawn Michaels did that. Hell yeah.
Well, of course.
Mm-hmm.
So, does it say what the stipulations were that they had in that match?
Let me look it up. So let me try to get this here.
Because I remember the storyline because I do believe this was when Ridge Holland like literally betrayed Chase U after they like brought him in and all this other stuff, and so this was them trying to get their lick back on him.
Um, it's saying one was an ambulance match, and I'm not getting the results of everything. So okay, two foes looks like it starts off chasing him down. It's not giving me the full thing. It gives me the match breakdown, but it doesn't tell me each one of them. But it looks like I know one of them was an ambulance. Okay, here we go. So, looks like it took it later on challenges for ambulance match two foes. I'm not seeing anything else. I mean, that's what Google was telling me. Google's telling me um, the last one. But when I look it up on the wiki says that Adam Cole and Johnny Gargano was a 3 stage. It was a standard match, street fight, and a steel cage. And that was 2019. And that's what Pro Wrestling Wiki says.
Mm. Now if when it comes to that one I definitely would not remember because I was not paying a whole lot of attention to NXT in 2019,
Hmm.
which is an egg on my face because I missed a lot of the Shots.
Adam Cole, baby.
Yeah, I missed a lot of see see now I'm gonna have to do some of the research just to see because
Doing
I don't
research.
remember those being Three Stages of Hell matches, but it's like and it's one of those deals where like unless they're thinking of it as the fact that
It is literally 3 matches.
like they just had three separate matches against each other kind of
I'm
thing.
gonna I'm gonna have to look that up because if they're saying that those two did that match, I'm gonna have to go back to Halloween Havoc and check it out. But I know we are kind of going off the grid. We need to go and explain Discus Lariat and the boiler, and I think we can kind of wrap up the episode because I technically got you a question, got you thinking, and I'll go ahead and revamp my questions from before. So yes, let's go ahead and explain real quick what the Discus Lariat actually means. Now,
Give it a proper introduction.
so first and foremost, we want to pay homage to Brody, not Brody King, excuse me. Um, yeah, Brody Lee, not Brody King, Brody Lee, and
The
he had one of the
throne.
he had one of the best discus lariats in the business. Literally had one of the best ones in the business. But while a discus lariat normally takes you to spin and come up with the lariat itself, the concept in mind, if I recall, was you're taking an angle, you're taking a situation that is already presented to you, and we're gonna spin it and hit you with a possibility, hit you with an idea, or a kind of like a fan fiction or something like that of that nature, an angle of what we think might be where they're going with something. Am I correct?
That sounds about right in that area. Taking a situation that's going on currently and then just giving a probably a very out of nowhere impactful way of the thought process of what we think could happen or might happen or it'd be cool if, which I know the big one that we've been going on about is this whole situation with Jay and
Yes.
Gunther.
Yes.
And
This is you.
this and my Discus Lariat is the fact that like we're going to continue on this trajectory and then we're going to get all the way to WrestleMania and he's going to lose.
That's what he wants because he wants to see the reaction of the Yeet
I want to see the
being
world burn.
defeated.
I ain't gonna lie. I want to
The
see the
Yeet
world burn.
defeat.
And it's not even so much that I want to see him be defeated. It's it's honestly more so of a I just want to see the world burn type situation. It's it's such a wild and crazy thought and idea that it'd be crazy if they did it and it just worked. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, grant, there's a part of me that's all like, of course that's not going to happen. But I want to make sure I say this very loud and clear with my chest out just in case if it does. Now, of course, if you haven't been keeping count, my originally it was just gonna be the fact that he lose. But now the thought that's in my mind when it comes to how it could go down is he's going to lose, but he's going to lose because of somebody. I haven't figured out who the somebody could possibly be, but someone interferes, it costs him the match. And it's going to be that deal where we're going to make it look like, and then something's going to happen where it's all like he plain clear as day beats Gunther in a 1, 2, 3 type scenario, but for whatever reason the referee doesn't get the count, and everyone's just all like, "Wow, that was the one. That's where it should have happened."
Do you think it's
And
Jimmy?
now that's crazy work.
That
And
could
the
be
only way
backlash worthy. That could be backlash worthy.
that's crazy work. And the only reason why it's crazy, to me, because that would also be very anime too if they did that. To me, I don't think it would be Jimmy unless Jimmy comes up with this whole situation where now he's actually just jealous of his little brother, kind of thing. That would be the only that'd be the only reason why it would work is because they're trying to play on this fact that he's jealous of where he's at and he's like, he's on that should have been me type situation. Like you don't deserve that spotlight. That spotlight I mean, there's merit where they could, but at the same time, I don't think they would only because they've already had their match last year at WrestleMania.
It was Poodoo.
Okay. All right. I mean,
Everybody said it was bad because they didn't get enough
I,
time.
I didn't think it was as I didn't think it was poodoo.
Everybody said
I
it was
thought.
Poodoo.
I mean, hey, listen, everybody do be saying things sometimes, but but
Rikishi definitely spoke how he thought it was ass.
really, oh, so
Yeah,
he just
he did not like the fact that his boys didn't get enough time. The story could tell it itself, but you did not give my boys enough time. And Rikishi speaks a lot on Twitter or X. His feelings, his gripes about how put the belt on my son. He's the top selling merch. He getting the crowds put the belt on my son. You wasting his potential. He's very big in talking about how he thinks Jay needs to go ahead and get that damn belt.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I need to take a look at this Rakishi foolishness.
Mm-hmm.
But like, but it's like now with that knowledge in mind, like for something like that to happen, all right, I could see it. I mean, because then maybe this will give them the proper time to really let that marinate and all this other stuff, and like really actually take a deeper dive into it. That's one thought. But like as far as who though, like I still don't know.
It has to be
But
valid though. That's the thing. So like you got to think about who else is valid enough to do that besides his brother.
I mean, listen, I did not take that great of stock in the reason when it came to his downfall. Now, if y'all want me to give my presentation on why he won't win, why he won't lose, and the reasons why, I'll think a little harder on it. I'll give you a great story as the reason why he should lose. I was just hitting you. I was just hitting you with that lariat. That's all. I
Yeah,
wasn't
just
hitting you with.
throw a little,
I, that,
throw.
that was strictly a lariat. That I wasn't trying to, continue to work a match. This was an interference discus lariat, and I dipped the hell out. You know what I'm saying? This wasn't a
So
work.
JBL.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
What if
Man,
it?
could you imagine if he did that? If he
Yo.
like, I mean, Grant, his was off the rope and he did the clothesline. I
No,
don't
I'm
think
just,
you can possibly bounce off the rope, do a spin mid run and clothesline. That's crazy work. But you know, also not to
what?
just, I mean, put a little respect on Natalia's name because she used to do the discus lariat. That used to be her finish.
Natalia?
Yeah. Early Natalia, when she was still around with her husband and Davy Boy's baby.
I thought it was
Davy
still just
Boy's baby
sharpshooter.
boy. No, she only started doing sharpshooter more recently only. When she first showed up, when she was, thicker, Natalia, listen, she was discus clotheslining hoes left and right, friend.
I'm not gonna lie. I respect her work. I think what was it, Total Divas or whatever show it was, that just made me not like her. Whatever
You,
show was.
I mean, what was it? What did Total
I think was
Divas
it
do to make you not like her?
just you know how like they say when you meet your idols or whatever and you see how they are as individuals, like
You're
seeing
not,
how
you're not into cat ladies. That's the problem. Cat ladies must rub you the wrong
my
way.
wife is a cat lady.
Then I don't see the problem.
It's just how it was something about her, like her personality. It was just like, ugh, like, nah, I'm not a fan of it. Like, I'm not saying like I despise her. It's just like it's just something. You know how you get like an energy from somebody that's like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good.
It doesn't match your vibe as a person.
Yeah, yeah.
Because Natalia, to a certain degree, she has
She's a great human being.
though she may be a great human being, I feel like a lot of people probably card her at she was like the girl in class that, like, to a certain degree sometimes comes off as weird, and some people would want to make fun of her because of the weird things that she does, kind of thing, or like the weird comments that she might insert into a conversation where it's all like, all right, that was an interesting route to
Kind
take
of
that.
that. Yeah, that's kind of that. Yeah, like
Good.
we're all talking
So
about we're all talking about cars, and I know where she wants to bring up a boat. And you're like, the fuck is you doing? Like that kind of weird shit. But I got a boat.
uh,
What the fuck? But that at the end of the day is the Discus Lariat. So, from Discus Lariat, now I want to go ahead and quickly and get into this because you wanted to bring up this topic or bring up this concept, so that way we could use it in the future. So, give us some insight on this new concept as well.
so when it comes to trying to break it down, because like the idea of a boiler room hot take, right? Because like to a certain degree, one could say that like a discus lariat or at least the idea behind like the Discus Lariat Lounge, it would be, the place where, you know, taking whatever the current situation that's going on, and then like giving our own personal spin on like how we think it might end up going. But then with the Boiler Room hot takes, I feel as if they are, because often hot takes are, full on just like, and personal opinions about a particular situation or a general issue or statement as a whole. And so for the Boiler Room hot takes, that would be, these would be like the hottest of hot takes, like almost nuclear when it comes to like a statement of being like, all right, so here's my hot take on this. I think, boom.
So the
And
kind
then
of stuff that might get you like get the comment section attacking you.
absolutely, either they attack you or they look at it like, damn, he might be right though. Out of line, but he's right.
Yeah, Anthony Mackie's like he's out of line, but he right though.
And so, as where, my Discus Lariat being the fact that we're going to go all the way to WrestleMania doing the thing with Jimmy, not Jimmy, Jay. I always do that for some reason. But it's like we
They're
do
twins,
that
that's
whole
why.
thing, do that whole thing and get there, and then and then Jay loses. Like that's my Discus Lariat. Taking what's going on and then throwing a wild spin on it. As far as like a hot take that I have right now, um is that do I even want to say this being a hot take right now? You know what?
I got
Yeah,
one.
I think I'll. So just the show in. I think right now, when it comes to the way that WrestleMania is going and in the general direction that it's heading right now, nobody cares about the World Heavyweight Title.
You talking about the the Warhead with Jey Uso? Okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. Right. Right.
Correct. As a matter of fact, I would also be. No one has cared about the heavyweight title. I think, in my opinion, and this, I guess, this would be my boiler room hot take, just to start off with one. No one has cared about the heavyweight title since Cody Rhodes beat Gunther. I
Or I
feel.
would say Seth Rollins was holding the title because you kind of cared about it then.
Yeah, that, which, yeah, we did, but that was then, and then Gunther took the belt, and Gunther was important for a while, but right now he's kind of just spinning his wheels with the belt. And I think, and me personally, and I love that title. I am a world heavyweight title stand. You know what I'm saying? But like right now, I don't think anyone has really cared about anything that's going on with the heavyweight title since Cody Rhodes beat him at the Saturday night main event.
Crown.
Nope.
I thought it was Crown Jewel because it was champion versus champion.
Was it Crown Jewel?
Yeah, because
Oh yeah,
remember. Yeah, because remember
that's
they.
right.
Yeah,
They had
whoever
they got the
won
little
got the.
ring or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Goes to show how much we care.
Anything related to. Yeah. That's a hot take right there. Anything. Well, no, because I think everybody will feel the same. Anything related to Crown Jewel, we don't give a fuck about because
Most of
it don't
the time.
matter. It's like non-canon events in anime. Like it's a filler. It's a filler episode. That's it.
Crown Listen, Crown Jewel is WWE's moment to be like, all right, let's get a whole bunch of money and just do whatever the fuck that doesn't really matter. And then once we get that out the way, then we go back to our regular, you know, our regular program.
Filler
Like
anime, yeah.
it's Crown Jewel is WWE's yearly. All right, we're just gonna sell out real quick, and
You
then we're
know
good
what?
to go.
You know what? Anime movies. Anime movies that are like big spectacles because it's an anime movie, but none of it matters. Perfect example. Remember the Yu-Gi-Oh movies? How you would go there and you get the Blue Eyes card? It's not canon, but it was a big fucking spectacle.
That's fair. That's a good way to put it. I mean, grant nowadays the anime movies have been trying to be more canon, but
Mm-hmm.
the point is still there. You know, it's like it's a big deal. It's brilliant. It's cool. You know, your favorite character does the cool things and stuff like that. But like after the movie is done, it does not affect the main storyline whatsoever. And so,
Poodoo.
cut. Well, I mean, I guess you could do it. But yeah, that would be my boiler room hot take. The fact that like right now, no one really cares about the world heavyweight title. No one
You ready for mine? Who the fuck cares about the Miz? There it is.
That's a wild take. All right.
Yeah, I don't
That's
fucking care about
ooh,
him. I don't. I've
that,
never liked his character.
that's all right. Wow. Wow.
And the fact
Yeah.
that he is still in the roster. No, and you know his wrestling style obviously safe enough for him to continue to do anything. But anytime I'm like, he should not be winning this match. Like he's that irrelevant to me.
That's pretty rough.
Yeah, he's irrelevant to me.
You're really on that note. Wow. Okay. All right. I guess
And you can't tell me you don't have a hot take like that. Come on now. You can't tell me.
about a wrestler.
Yeah.
They're like how irrelevant, how much that. Uh, no, I not like that. Not like that. I don't. I have my differences and my issues with John Moxley, but those aren't hot takes. Those
They're
you
pretty much hot
visually.
takes. You don't like that dude, like his visual. Like you've had a point where not like in a disrespectful way, because I'm not saying in a disrespectful way. He's he's relevant to the roster that's currently going around. When I'm talking about Miz, right? He's irrelevant to the current roster, right? And when we talk about John Moxley and your hot takes on him, you just don't see it. So you just like, I don't like his character because while everybody says he's this great guy as a wrestler, I don't see it.
Well, my problem isn't completely my well. I guess to a degree, my problem is with his character, but it also is more going hand to hand because like with his character comes this style of wrestling that he is portraying that's like constantly taking me out of it. Like going back to that back spot that he did, you know, with the spikes and everything. It's like, all right, cool. That happened, but he didn't make me care about it. You know what I'm saying? He gets busted open all the time. I don't care when he's bleeding anymore. He'll, slam him on some thumbtacks. He pops right back up and hits a paradigm shift like the thumbtacks doesn't exist. He has literally taken bumps and then gotten back up and clotheslined them and then walked around the ring like it didn't happen. This constant non-selling of his just is like why like it, but at the same time though he is one of the biggest pretenders of it, but it's also a big issue that I have with AEW. They don't make anything that they do matter. They're just doing it to do it type thing. Every once in a while it'll feel like it matters, but as I said, it's like playing the wrestling game. If I took you and I put you through 7 tables and through the ring and made you bleed like a stuffed pig and beat you like a government mule, and at the end of the match you walk out of the ring when no one needs to help you, no, that's Moxley.
And that is a boiler room hot take too to say that about AEW as well. Like it's like the selling and everything. That's a hot take where some wrestling fans enjoy that, but to you it's just like not a fan. It's not a thing.
But how many wrestling fans are enjoying it as we see like people caring less and less about AEW? Like
Well,
it's
the
like
people are buying tickets, obviously.
Barely.
True, but there's still people who are still buying and investing. So obviously there is still some demographic. It may not be a lot, but there's still some demographic.
Yeah, but I guess it's also, but I mean, I guess you can call that a hot take, but it's also kind of sort of the thing that it I almost don't call it a hot take because I'm not the only man saying it. If
You're
you want,
you're
you're the
you're
only
one of the,
person who has said what you have just said about the Miz.
I don't think I'm probably the only one that you know, but there's probably some other people who may have said it.
Bring show them to me.
I will
Show
if
me
I
some
can
more
find
people.
someone, maybe I will find. I don't know.
Show me some more people who is talking that hot ish about the Miz like you was. And then I will show you all the people who are saying the exact same thing I'm saying about AEW. And that's why it's not a hot. If anything, it is lukewarm at best. Or it's actually in the fridge because everybody is grabbing a glass of it and drinking it.
All right, you got a point with that. You got a point with that.
So it's like
You got a point with that.
there's a difference between a hot take and a nice cold beverage.
So a hot take to you is like you're the only one that's speaking that.
A hot to a certain degree, or it just be as spicy as what you just said about the Miz, because that was heated. That was very
The
heated.
fact that I say he's irrelevant to the roster,
That yes, the way, not just that, the way you kind of came back and corrected it, saying him being irrelevant to the roster, but the way that you first kind of said it's like, nah, no one gives a fuck about the Miz. That's how you started it, and
yeah,
then
yeah, and that's
you
why I had to
cleaned it up,
correct it. That's why I had to
and then you
correct it. It's more
and
so
then you
he's irrelevant to the roster to me.
Okay. So cause I was still stuck on that bit. Now, saying that he's irrelevant to the roster still is a pretty hot take because I don't think a lot of people think he's irrelevant to the roster. Because also saying he's irrelevant to the roster, that means that you're saying that he also has nothing to do with any kind of push that might be on its way or coming for Carmelo. Because they're boys right now. They're
Yeah, but
alive.
that's the only thing. The reason why they're boys is because they're just giving something Carmelo to do. That's to me what it is. Because like we all know, Carmelo is gonna have his moment, right? They even put Carmelo on who was he with not too long ago? He was buddy buddy with them too. Um, can't think of the freaking person's name, but he was buddy buddy with somebody at one point in the roster as well, and then that went nowhere. And
I just don't remember who that was. That he was
that,
like.
but it was like not too long ago. He was like buddy buddy with somebody else, and it wasn't like they were tag teaming, but they would like hang out, like right. And it was just another heel. You know how heels do. Heels just hang out with other heels because as heels we're haters, you know. So having someone like the Miz is like would technically be like a mentor to Carmelo. So when I say he's irrelevant to the roster, it's like to me if I see a match with the Miz in it, I don't see the Miz winning. I don't see him probably losing it clean every time, but it's just like he's a fall guy to me. He's not a guy that you're gonna put in a main story at some point. You're not doing that with the Miz to me. And because I feel like the Miz's shine, like his he had really good peaks. He had his peak when the Daniel Bryan situation. That was a really good peak. It was like, okay, I actually care about the Miz now. I care about this story because he came from the heart. It didn't feel dialed in with this whole I'm awesome thing. Like he's been doing that for years, right? I need something new elevation to his story. He's been doing the same thing forever. And then when the Daniel Bryan thing came up, he says, I'm here every week beating people up while you're, doing. And I was like, okay, I'm here for this. This is a new thing, right? But ever since then, it's just back to normal Miz. So that's why I just say it to me it feels irrelevant. There's no elevation for him. Right? Does that make more sense?
I mean, it made sense already, like when you corrected yourself. But as far as because I'm not disputing your lukewarm take that you changed it to. I'm still focusing on that blazing hot take that you threw out there originally. And then in comparison to my ice cold beverage that everybody's drinking.
Oh my god. All right here, Roki. All right, Broski. All right. Anyway, we're gonna find one that you got. I know we're gonna find one. But either way, now you have an idea of what a boiler room hot take would be, basically.
Yeah, that's a boiler room hot take. And honestly, I one day, especially like, because I'm gonna try and have one maybe for like, if not every, maybe every other, and maybe we even might have an actual pod where we focus on just some boiler room hot takes. But when we do,
We gonna ruffle some feathers with that one though.
oh listen, we need to bring in our boy Lord Zay, because the
I feel like he
episode that
got
me
one.
and him, oh, he's got, you gotta go back and listen to that episode, because he was sliding them in there like he
Yeah,
was.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it's actually because of him I came up with the idea, because
Mm-hmm.
like we had our things that we were talking about in that episode, but he would throw a hot take in there that I'm just all like, you sound like you got a lot to get off your chest, my friend. And it was because of that I was like, we I want to build a platform for that. We need some boiler room hot
Can you
takes.
see if we can get him on next week?
Well, let me think here. I can double check with him.
Yeah, just check.
We can definitely line something up, because I already told him the fact that like the first time you're a guest, second time you just live here now. You get your
Yeah,
own food out of the fridge. Don't ask me
I'm
for if you
dead.
need it. Don't ask me if you need anything. Check the fridge. If it's in there, you can have some. Whatever kind of thing. So it's like he's now just part of the family here. And apparently, where you go? Okay, what the happened? Okay, he's still there. But yeah, so that's the idea behind the boiler room hot takes.
Okay.
So yeah, I got plenty of them that I'll throw out there. Now that I have this out there, I'll save them for the podcast. But damn, that Miz hate was crazy though. But
Oh my goodness, here you go. The Miz hate was crazy.
listen, hey, hey, that's your boiler room hot take, fam. I'll take it. It's all good. It is all good. Now, when the Miz comes back through and hits you with his own Discus Lariat on that one, I'd like to hear
I
what you got to
mean,
say.
that's what's gonna come with when you're a content creator. You're not gonna be everybody's favorite. You're gonna have your moments where yes, somebody's gonna get pissed off at something you said, but it's everybody's gonna have their opinion with wrestlers, boxers, any kind of sport. It comes with the game. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think I'm gonna reach at a status where the Miz is gonna look at my comment that I just made and be like, he's probably gonna be like, "Who the fuck are you?" Yes.
I'm gonna clip that shit and put it as a goddamn timeline on Twitter, on X.
He could be like, "Who the fuck are you?" And he's gonna be like, look at my life. I'm making this much money, and you're right. He is doing all those things. But as a consumer of wrestling, as a consumer of the product, I'm going to say what I say.
Listen, that which is fine, but now I have to check you when the Miz start doing some shit. Be like, damn, he irrelevant, ain't
Hey man, look, me and Miz could go battle for battle
he?
in a promo. I ain't got no problems with it. I will bring back Goro Masaku in the promos. If Miz says something and he wants to go blow for blow with a promo, he might destroy me. But hey, it'll be good damn content. It'll make him. And hey, hopefully, if it gets me a match with the guy, I'll be for it. I'll make sure he's relevant again afterwards.
Wait till next SmackDown and he gets wait till next SmackDown and he ends up finding a way on WrestleMania and be like, damn, he irrelevant, huh?
Hey, look, it'd be better with with me as a match though. Trust me.
Oh boy.
Anyway, so to finally wrap everything up, I'm gonna return back to the questions that you gave me last episode.
Ooh,
With
do we have enough time?
I'm gonna make them brief. I'm just gonna make them brief. I'm not gonna go in super detail. I'm just gonna make them brief, just to update. And
Oh,
because we,
so you don't want a new question. You want to go
oh,
back
though,
and
back to the ones. Yeah.
all right. So since you're correcting the first one, all time Mount Rushmore. What where does it stand now?
So it's still going to be Penta. I need to put Austin in there. I need to put
Okay.
New Jack. And
So he's
then
still there.
run it back. I had Penta, I had New Jack, I had
So
um
Penta and New Jack were originally on there.
yeah.
And I think you had Austin on there originally too,
I
if I'm
don't
not
think I have
mistaken.
I no, because I feel like that was one of the things I messed up at is I didn't have Austin in there. I feel
Okay.
like that was one of the things.
So Austin is new, which makes sense from what I know of you. I was
Yeah.
actually curious. I'm like, oh, you didn't put Austin. Well, it's
Yeah,
good,
yeah.
man.
I feel like that, like, you know how the Mount Rushmore is like, okay, there's certain animes that's like, okay, that's obviously the greatest of all time. Why am I putting it on there? And that's kind of where my mind went at a little bit. So yes, Austin, and I wanted to say the last one. The last one was a tough one because I know I said it was between Jay Lethal and somebody else. But I will say, because I have to add each era. Damn. I thought I had this one actually. Um I'm gonna have to go with Jake the Snake Roberts.
Oh,
Jake the Snake Roberts. And though his career is not major, like, he has his behind, before WWE stuff, and I did watch a lot of his content there. But it was really, as a wrestling fan, when I was thinking about becoming a wrestler, watching his promos were the things that I wanted to emulate. The calm, the level of tension that his voice would bring, and he never had to yell his voice. He never had to raise his voice, but you got exactly what the fuck he meant in his promo.
I
Um,
mean, hindsight 2020, he actually just couldn't because his throat got crushed. But
yes. And while I have met him in person, I kind of felt that might have been a little bit biased, but yes. And also because of Jake, we got 316 Austin. So I have to give it up to your boy. If it wasn't for that, we would not have Austin 316. So Jake is up there for a reason. So you got that. And then what was the next one? I think it was like a favorite all
so
time
then,
wrestler right now.
so then your all time just number one favorite wrestler across the
Then it's
board.
Austin. It's Austin.
Mm,
Austin is
which
the on-
that's
Austin is the only one that I repeatedly go back to outside of Triple H. Triple H is still, he's still in that caliber, but I had to think about it. The only person that I constantly go back to watch his matches at least once in a blue moon, it's always Austin. It's always Austin. I I,
so.
I
I know for me, when it came to like when you was coming up with these questions and when you was coming up with these answers, I, because I've been there with you through almost all of this wrestling journey, seeing certain things, we playing the wrestling games, we create our characters and stuff like that, going back to like with No Mercy and whatnot, how we would base our characters off of what things, the faces that we use to put our characters together. And it's like, it was always Triple H and Stone Cold for you when it came to like what you would base your character on, kind of thing.
mm-hmm.
Now now later times, like in your later SmackDown versus Raws, like 2019 and 20 and going forward, I think that's when
It became all Triple
Penta
H. Oh yeah, Penta too, yeah.
Well, you were now. I would say before you started going into your Penta era, yes,
Mm-hmm.
it was all Triple H. He was more solid on the Triple H side. Your finishing move has and still has always been the pedigree,
The third degree.
and so like so it was like when Triple H, even now, the fact that Triple H, but your reasons behind it make sense. But it was like the fact
Mm-hmm.
that Triple H did not come up in the conversations of all this surprised me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's
No, I could have sworn I said Hunter because I was like, Hunter's one of my greatest of all time. Oh, I said heels. Heels. That's what it was. It was heels.
yeah, you were specifically
Yes,
talking
yes.
heels,
Yeah,
but he
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
make it to your Mount Rushmore, and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
so it's like your reasons behind Jake the Snake understandable, and then with Stone Cold Steve Austin, that also makes sense. It almost goes without explanation why, but that all checks there. And so that was your guy. What was your great favorite female wrestler of all time across the board?
It's still Trish Stratus.
So that still stayed the same.
Yeah, it's still
Gotcha.
Trish Stratus. It's still Trish Stratus. And because like when you actually broke it down, I was like, you know what? What the hell am I doing? What the hell am I doing, bro? What the
Of
hell am I
course,
doing?
always has been Trish Stratus.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And looking at her nowadays, it's like, man, it's still there.
It's still there. Hasn't gone anywhere. If anything,
Oh,
one could almost dare say it's a little bit better. Like
honestly, yes, yes. The it is wine for a reason. It's aging and it's getting better with the age. Yes, yes, it is.
absolute absolute
Mm-hmm,
delicious.
mm-hmm,
That's
mm-hmm.
listen, that's why it was across the board of all time when it came to, because if we was talking off the sex appeal, then originally, well, actually, because there's
You
a
said
lot that get
Melina.
rough,
You said
like,
Melina.
but well, I think I did. I actually no. I know I said like across the board when it came to wrestling, it's a pretty hard tie between Melina and AJ Lee. If I was going straight off the beauty and the looks, then yes, it was
Mm-hmm.
definitely Melina. But AJ Lee and Melina are like at a very hard tie, and it's very hard for me to say which one I like more type
Mm-hmm.
deal. And then I think the last question was theme song all time across the board.
It's the one that gets me going every time.
It's the people going.
My time, Triple H.
That's quite the change. So there's where Triple H finally shows its face in your list.
My time, Triple H. It's specifically a version of it too. Because
Yeah,
while they have there's the version where it's like it's on and it's literally a specific audio cue. It's a specific audio cue. If it's not there, it's not the right one. And and I have to show you the differences because like you can literally tell just a slight audio cue for some reason, it's just a better version. Um but it is the early 2000s one, and then they actually made, I guess, a remastered or the version they used ever since then. I don't like it because it doesn't give just a little bit of the raw edge the previous one had. It kind of seems more while you take it and process it through something and then make it cleaner, it's like, you made it a little bit cleaner. I like the rough and edgy one a little bit better. But
I'm
my
about to say,
time,
is that also? I'm about to say, is also because I know for a while there was like the weird like where Triple H had one version and then they gave Stephanie McMahon
yes,
his older
yes,
version.
yes, yes. That's what it was. So they gave her the rougher one, and they gave him the clean one.
So you like the one that Stephanie McMahon ended up having for a while.
Yes, yes, because it was originally the one he used, but then they gave it to
Mhm.
Steph.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. I'm glad I was able to because like I knew what you meant and then I was like wanting to confirm that like he must be
Yeah,
meaning this one because that's the only real different between the two. And so
I'm
gotcha.
gonna send them to you after the pod so you can know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's again a slight audio cue. It's just the slightest, and then uh how the intro for the how the intro goes too, but I'm gonna pull it up in a second and I'm gonna send you out the pop. But yeah, was that the last one?
So that those were the three that we've done already, and
Mm-hmm.
so now we've got your bit that now that you had that time to think about, it's been cleaned up, and because of the fact that happened, I will throw you a bone because I know we're probably pushing it on the time, and
Yeah,
so
we're almost 2 hours. It's yeah, so we can wrap this up.
well, I'll just let you know that I'll tell you the next question ahead of time so that you'll have your chance to think of it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is currently, and we're specifically going to start with the AEW. Currently on AEW, who is your guy and girl on AEW?
I kind of already,
And
I kind of already got some
well,
of these. All right, it's cool.
so that's next time we visit the questions, that's
Yep,
where
yep,
we're
yep.
going to that we'll so we'll that's where we're going to go in. And depending on how things go for this week, I think maybe next week we'll just dive in, just
Yeah,
do
right,
go
right
straight
too.
into it.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
so that we can finally get these questions out of the way.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much. If you enjoyed this episode of us just splatting out the ranking system, the Discalaria, the boiler room topics, and just me revamping my list, I hope you enjoy seeing what we're gonna do next week for our episode. And continue watching the reviews that we got coming up. We got Raw review coming up soon, and as well AEW, and then Friday Night SmackDown, which that's only going to be rough now because we're going back to regular time. So we'll see how we're gonna do those. So again, if you haven't yet, like and subscribe. Please, if not, share this to one of your wrestling fans. Maybe they might have a boiler room hot take that they might want to throw in the comment section. And please, again, let us know your takes in the comment section as we post out our videos in the future. So until next time, it's the Monster Coup.
It's your boy Swax with you, and please give me them boiler room hot takes. I like that ish. I like that. I need more.
And this is the Big Brothers of Destruction podcast. We'll see you next time.